Good evening and welcome back to somewhere in the Middle East where, hello, there it is, where my mouse pointer keeps disappearing off the screen because I've got, so that's one thing I haven't reset from the previous configuration. There will be a short delay while I faff around with my computer. Hang on a mo. Yes, that's not a helpful place for my mouse pointer to be. Dumpty 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 dum. That button, then that button, and then that button, and then everything will work quite a lot better. Right. So, yes, I haven't got any Gemina. So, yes, we are the 13-year-old Queen Oneka of Al Jazeera, who did not inherit the empire of Outremer as she was hoping to, because when her grandfather, the previous emperor of Outremer, Emperor Nuno, died, the succession law of Outremer favoured her uncle by the name of Gonçal over her. And Gonçal possibly foolishly, decided that he didn't like the fact that Queen Oneika controlled like about a third of his territory, and tried to take one of her titles off her, and she resisted. And Gonçal is no longer the Emperor of Outremer. He is now Prince Gonçal the Confessor, and his little brother Manrique is the new Emperor of Outremer. We hope that Manrique will not do anything quite so foolish as to try to deprive Oneika of her of one of her kingdoms, not least because she probably can't actually afford to defend it that hard again. So far he hasn't, and the Crown authority in Outremer is a good deal lower than it was as a result of her war. It's now limited, which sadly we don't get explained to us by the user interface because we can't see it. Oh, do we click on that and then it will tell us? So yes, revocation of titles is still possible, but so far it hasn't actually been tried. And now it is possible for wars to take place within the Empire of Outremer, which is interesting. If we could get down to autonomous vassals, then we can't lose our title at all, or can't have it revoked at all. So there is still the slight problem that Manrique does have a claim on all of Oneika's kingdoms, I think. Yes. Weak claim on the Kingdom of Al Jazeera, a strong claim on the Kingdom of Syria, and a strong claim on the Kingdom of Jerusalem. And Oneika sadly does not have a claim on the Empire of Outremer because she was neither in line for the throne nor one of the children of the previous emperor, because she's the granddaughter of the previous emperor, and the imperial throne is entirely agnatic, i.e. it can't be inherited by a woman. So I'm not sure if she can actually do much to try to take over the empire. Her aunt Urraca has actually formed a faction to try to take the empire for herself. She does have a claim, only a weak one, admittedly, because she was a daughter of the previous emperor, of a previous emperor. Now the last but one emperor, because one of them foolishly attacked Oneika. So that the same thing applies to Oneika's various other aunts. Her uncles generally have strong claims on the empire. So we will see how that goes. And yes, Oneika needs to work out what she's doing next, but I think part of what she's doing is simply sitting down and waiting while her troops, and in particular while her vassals like her a little better, because right now all of her vassals are all of her direct duke level vassals are pretty annoyed with her. This isn't entirely surprising. Her regent has terrible diplomacy, and so her state diplomacy is pretty poor, which isn't very useful. She obviously has a bit of a short reign. Does she have a short reign penalty? No, she doesn't. She does have a doesn't seem to anyway. She does have a female ruler penalty. Plus, like, she's fired half of her. She does have a short reign penalty, at least from some people. She also has a fired councillor penalty for quite a few people, and some people also would like some of her kingdoms. So yes, things will probably get quite a bit better when she turns 16 and can, for instance, start wearing her Crusader armour. because it will fit. She doesn't have any very good artifacts because those well, they've all ended up now owned by the unlanded Prince Gonçal, because while he had to abdicate all of his titles, he got to keep all of his stuff. So he is.
Crusader relics when he tried to hold dead fingers off.
Yes, and his fingers are very much not cold and dead. So, yes, despite being unlanded, he nonetheless has 4,000 gold and quite a lot of artifacts. Sadly, he does not want to join Oneka's court because he's currently at the Imperial court, which he thinks is more impressive, more prestigious. Which is a pity, because obviously what we want to do is invite him to our court and then banish him, and so as to keep all of his money and stuff. And goodness, he has claims on a lot of things. But he's unlanded, so there's not much he can do about them. And they're mostly inside the Empire of Outremer anyway. He looks like he would make an excellent commander, and I'm slightly surprised he's not a commander of Outremer already. So I think we mostly unpause and allow things to happen. It is notable that there is a war going on between Outremer and the Kingdom of Egypt, which is very much in favour of Egypt, largely because they have successfully taken control of the one county that they're trying to get off us, namely this one right down there on the border, which frankly I only had because the rules for creating Outremer require you to have Sinai. It is de jure still part of the Kingdom of Egypt, and hence still part of the Arabian Empire, which amusingly doesn't include much of Arabia anymore, because de jure all of this area over here is Outremer.
It's not really your county anymore that they're going to war.
It's not my county either. It's Uncle What's-his-face's county. Uncle Manrique's county. It's his job to defend this war, not mine. Like, if it were actually one of mine, I might see if I could work out a way to help, but there. So, meanwhile, my Chancellor is off trying to cheer up my vassals a bit. I think there's no reason for him not to just stick around. So, that is only a 13 raised levies penalty, so we can certainly keep doing that for a little bit longer. We have relatively little money, but we do at least have a substantial surplus each year now. So one thing I might consider is whether I want to change my primary title. Because at the moment it's Al Jazeera, which is slightly odd because that's that has agnatic, cognatic, gavelkind succession, I think, due to being quite old and not a recent creation as part of the empire like the other ones were. So Syria and Jerusalem both have absolute cognatic primogeniture, or rather a creation just before the creation of the empire. The empire itself, of course, has particularly inconvenient agnatic primogeniture succession. But Al Jazeera has agnatic, cognatic, gavelkind, and we'd like to turn it absolute cognatic, and we'd probably like to turn it to primogeniture. Which order probably depends on the gender of Oneka's first child. On which subject she is currently betrothed to a fraticellum. So that might be entertaining. Oh, Fraticello. Okay, yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, but Fraticello's more amusing. Also,
I think Fraticello gets quite good points for being a musical instrument.
Yes.
Isn't it a drink?
Oh yes, clearly it's both. Good thought.
So it looks like the Outremer is organising itself a possibly useful army. It's marching away from the place I'd expect it to be going, but whatever. But yes, I am slightly wondering if there's some reason why I don't want my capital to be, well, why I want my capital to be in my primary kingdom. And notably all the counties I directly hold are in Al Jazeera, so kind of feels appropriate. Someone's got into a fight with the Egyptians down there, but I'm not sure it was a good idea. So possibly an interesting thing to do would be to declare war on my cousin Nuno, who is currently king of Yemen, over which I have a claim, upon which I have a claim. So he's Manrique's son. Not quite sure how is Yemen. Yemen's primogeniture. Why does Nuno hold Yemen and not his father? How do you end up? It's absolute cognatic primogeniture. So how does it end up not being held by the same person who has ended up with the empire? That's weird. The empire's primogeniture as well, albeit agnatic rather than cognatic. And maybe he gave it to him, I suppose. That works, doesn't it? Well, I can check the history, can't I? History of the title of the Kingdom of Yemen. Well, that's kind of weird. It was granted to Manrique by Nuno the Lionheart. That was when I was playing as Nuno. And then we just get Nuno II inherited. But Manrique's still alive, and maybe something's forced him to abdicate from this kingdom. That would be kind of weird.
You think it would show up in history if
Yes.
I mean, certainly real story would go, and then this really weird edge case of inheritance law took place.
I mean, it doesn't. It just
Writing a chapter.
for the empire, Manrique is just inherited from Gonçalo the Confessor. Oh well, let's hold a feast. That's almost certainly a good idea because it'll cheer up those vassals who turn up. Let us hire the conjurer. Right, Andronikos has gone up another 20 points of opinion. Or rather, he's about to go up another 20 points of opinion, so that will take him up to 33, which is nice. This is improving my troop numbers somewhat. Yes, let's also hire a minstrel. Let's not be lavish, though. Invite people to my feast and see who doesn't turn up. Bishop Duke Eberhard. There's also a bunch of little things I can probably claim off neighbours. The Princess Iraka for Outremer faction has disbanded. Someone is besieging one of our counties now, one of our holdings now, which is kind of rude of them, but I'm not going to try to stop that. Not least because my total troops are smaller than that army. We have a new Duke of Outrejourdin, Duke Swaffrad, who has inherited it from his father, yes. Apparently there was a faction to try to get Gavelkind succession. Oh, right, yeah, there are factions for Gavelkind succession in each of my kingdoms that don't already have Gavelkind succession. My Spy Master is currently scheming in Imperial. And who is where? Right, you're currently in Imperial, so yeah, that's probably a reasonable person to scheme against. Count Mirzad of Nisibin cut the throat of one of my servants when the clumsy man spilled wine over his garb. Well, I do like being just. Just is an excellent trait to have, so we're definitely imprisoning him. Then we can, as my usual approach to these is that I'll then ransom them at the end of the feast. So the feast is over. And we can let my one prisoner out in return for.
I guess it doesn't model the effect of these choices on how easy it is to hire servants.
No.
This is presumably just like an occupational hazard of the 14th century, whatever century we're in.
13th at the moment. Right, well, that was a nice amount of money to get back. I think I'm not going to spend lots of money at this stage because I think I need to keep a decent amount around to allow me to hire mercenaries in the event of unexpected attacks from elsewhere in the Empire for the most part. Meanwhile, the Egyptians are continuing to besiege what is now my territory, but what is partly my territory, bizarrely, as I recall, because that county was partly mine when I rebelled. That county was partly mine and partly the remaining empires. My liege, my humble court chaplain says, during my stay in Mosul, I have found a great philosopher who has agreed to help with my studies to enhance culture in the county. With your permission, I would suggest that we employ him. So, do we spend money on cultural technology points or not? Yes, go on. We're not that short of money. I get told about the Shah of Persia introducing limited crown authority because I think I control some land that's de jure Persia. Because my territory only goes that far. Oh yes, that bit there is currently de jure Persia. 9 years into being incorporated into Al Jazeera instead. But currently, and rather bizarrely, de jure Persia. Is someone at war with Esfahan? Oh, right. Okay, I'm not going to be able... I was hoping I might be able to holy war that, but Princess Araka of Outremer has just about won it. Bah. That was one holy war I had available. The Ascalonite Hungarian excommunication war has ended inconclusively because I think the King of Hungary is no longer excommunicated. Which is like a good reason.
Conclusively, because nobody could remember what it was about.
Excommunication wars kind of weird. I think they're mostly a way of getting yourself into favour with the Pope.
It's one of the ways of persuading the Pope that the Pope wants to crown you, if that's something you think you can.
Yes, I do not have the DLC for being crowned. Yes, does the current Emperor have any... No, the current Emperor has no artefacts at all, because they all got swiped from the Imperial treasury by his brother.
Yeah.
It looks like some other part of the Empire is starting a holy war. Oh no, you're defending against the Baghdadian revolt. Okay. And yes, Esfahan is now part of Countess Araka's territory. Don't think I have a... no, I don't have a casus belli for the Najidids. Probably have one for the Byzantine Empire, and that would be an appallingly bad idea. Lots of casus belli against the Byzantine Empire, but those would all be appallingly bad ideas. My uncle Manrique, the emperor, is now known as Manrique the Monk, which is kind of weird. Like, he has quite low learning, he's not zealous. He is kind and charitable and patient and chaste, which might help. Though not so chaste as to avoid having 4 children. So Andronikos likes me even more, so that takes him up to 69. I think we should, let's send my Chancellor somewhere else now. Who else is powerful and dislikes me? Probably Theodoros. Who's on the list of factions? Probably Theodoros. Excellent. People are disagreeing with one another about which new inheritance law we should enact in Jerusalem. That's what we like to see. So where is the Duchy of Jazeera then, eh? It's Erbil, apparently. Why doesn't it have a marker on it saying it's the capital of the duchy? I don't understand. Oh well, let us send our Chancellor there. Do I have an utterly brilliant spy master? Yes. Why have I not appointed my utterly brilliant spy master? Because when I click the button, it doesn't work. Yes, that's the one.
Just check he's the right religion. Yes?
He's Catholic. He's my courtier. He's at court in Mosul.
He's not accidentally doing another job.
Not as far as I can
Can you
tell.
sack the current spy master first?
Probably. Maybe I can't. Ah, my current spy master is my regent. Thank you. And therefore I can't appoint my brilliant spy master
Until you come of age.
for another 2 years. We probably don't want the county of Antioch. I mean, so it's her who's trying to murder the current count. I suppose there's a good chance that the sickly 2-year-old won't inherit it. Goes to Sir Hilda. She's pretty terrible. On the other hand, so's he. Now we'll let her get on with that murdering. Well, Outremer is doing a terrible job of defending against the... So the only reason that that we haven't lost that county to Egypt already is that it requires an actually big battle, and so far Outremer has not managed to bring a large enough army in. Outremer now has a large enough army, but that's so large that it might actually be possible for it to beat the Egyptian army. Finally. Meanwhile, do I have any convenient casus belli against Baghdad while they're in the middle of this revolt? I do have various people with claims on the Duchy of Baghdad. Nothing quite so useful there, though. And he is extremely soft. So who might I want to put in there? There's him with 8 Marshal. Who's the Duke of Ascalon, which is like that bit down there, which is a bit weird. Well, there's Nuno, Duke of Galilee. I mean, that's similarly a bit weird that he has a claim on Baghdad. So which one's more closely related to me? Alaric is not of my dynasty. Well, obviously we should press the claim. Oh no, neither of... He's called Nuno, but isn't of my dynasty. That's just weird. 4, 6, 8, 7, 19 versus 68208. Well, I suppose probably having one of your vassals have 0 backstabbing ability is quite helpful. Maybe he's the one I want to promote then. I think while I am still trying to recover the strength of my levies, this opportunity to take the Duchy of Baghdad is like a bit too good to miss.
Is there a rebellion?
Yes, the Duchy of Baghdad is currently in the throes of a rebellion. Or there's Countess Brunhilde of Tyrus, who is of my dynasty. So thus I think she would remain my vassal if I won.
As long as it's a lesser title, yes. Since it's a duchy, you should.
And that would avoid making any one of my vassals too strong. I have plenty of vassal limit available. There's also the Duchy of Basra that he also controls, but I think we should probably take Baghdad first. Like, she might be strong enough to take Basra off him afterwards. So let's just check that. If Queen Aneka of Al Jazeera holds a higher title and is of the same dynasty as Countess Brunhilde, let's just check that again. Brunhilde is a Di Spoleto. Aneka is a Di Spoleto.
Is she a countess in her own right, or is she some countess because she's married to someone?
Good question. Yes, she's Countess because she's married to someone.
So you would.
Uh,
Well, you don't have to land because she's your dynasty.
yes, that's the point.
Right, yes, that's fine. Yeah, carry on.
Countess Brunhilde of Tyrus will also become a vassal of Queen Aneka. Let's just check he doesn't have a phenomenal amount of money. Nope. And he's in the middle of a war. And he's got very few troops anyway. Right, well... Just raise all of my troops, because there really aren't that many of them. We should pay some attention to where this lot might come out of Shattered Retreat, though. Right, they've come out of Shattered Retreat there, which means we probably just want to divert that nice large army with some good commanders at the head of it. In to meet them. They don't have very much morale, but No, they have a 10 to 1 advantage in numbers. The fact that they're a bit low on morale is probably not going to be a problem.
Well, I guess we probably can't mess this up too badly.
Yeah. There we go. Infuriating 4% war score. 4.5% war score indeed. Oops, I seem to have left that army behind. You lot, you can go over there as well. Actually, there's no one in Baghdad. Let's just head over. Oh, there's another largish army. They're not heading my way yet, but maybe I should head their way. Where are they going? Now, let's go and sit down in Baghdad and see what happens, because we probably need to get this territory before everyone else, before the revolt starts picking it up. Whitrad Hereward's son claims that he would be a better marshal than Mayor Heramel, because he has 23 marshal and Heramel only has 22. Therefore, he should be given the title of Marshal of Al Jazeera. He's presumably currently a commander? Yes. Will annoy the mayor, but on the other hand, he's only a mayor. Yeah, let's do that. I have some minor titles I should grant as well. That mayor will then become a commander anyway. We need a cupbearer. That's apparently all we're lacking at the moment. Don't think that battle is anything to worry about. I mean, let's just quickly merge all of those together and give them some good commanders to be on the safe side, but now, ideally, we'd work out how to intercept these guys. So you will get quite a big defensive bonus, but we have got some good commanders there. And that will give us a nice decisive battle. Oh, excellent. He's decided he wants to meet me in the desert instead. Well, if he's going to be like that about it, don't think I need to bring all the troops to a desert fight. Means I can get to work on besieging his capital at the same time. Excellent. Right, that's got me a decent amount of war score. Indeed, I have just captured the Duke of Baghdad. Excellent. Let us enforce our demands on Baghdad. My regent curiously approves my decision to seize Baghdad. Duchess Brunhilde the Usurper has usurped the title County of Baghdad from Duke Valdemar of now Basra. So the Kingdom of Al Jazeera now extends quite a bit further eastwards. So what has that done for the... So he's now just in control of the Duchy of Basra. Brunhilde doesn't currently have as many troops as him, but I'm sure she can organise herself into something worthwhile. In particular, she's going to have to appoint a council and things like that. She has decent diplomacy, so she should be able to get herself an acceptable vassal limit once things have sorted themselves out. Yes, that says 5 of 1, but it's actually 5 of 23, so yeah. What's going on up there then? That's, all right, that's the Duchy of Samara, yes. Wonder what claims we have on her. So yes, we're still not extending very far east within the empire. Duke Valdemar of Basra has usurped the county of Einside from Count Lothar of Basra in order presumably to get himself a capital after someone took Baghdad off him. So that's nice. We even got the bits that were part of the rebellion. So that is Egypt's attempt at claiming... Yes, that's Egypt's claim on this, or de jure claim on this county here. I'm, as a vassal of the defender, it's kind of treated as my war. I'm certainly hostile to Egypt as a result. But like, I mean, I could help. I think I could even officially join the war. So I could offer to join the war and thus get some prestige from defending it. But I don't really think that's a wise move, given I'm still quite unpopular with my vassals for having a habit of getting into wars. I'm hoping that Duchess Brunhilde will be able to take the Duchy of Basra herself. That looks like I now adjoin... Oh no, there's a separate Duchy of Khuzestan there, isn't there? And Khuzestan is entirely part of Outremer, so I can't declare a holy war on that, or holy war for that. And Tabriz looks like it's entirely in the Byzantine Empire, so I obviously can't engage in a holy war for that, and I don't join Gilan. Jibal is entirely in the Empire of Outremer, and obviously there's nothing very interesting on this side. So yes, time to relax again. We missed one opportunity for a feast, but that's fine because it's only a year since the last one. We need to find something to do with our Marshal now, so let's set him researching military tech in Mosul. We're not that well off for money. We could do with a new commander. Well, there's no one helpful in my court. We have 2 organisers and 0 siege leaders at the moment, unless my Marshal is a siege leader, which he isn't. So let's see if we can get a siege leader to come to our court. Okay, sadly it has to be a male siege leader. So we will invite over Polycarpos, Protostrator of somewhere.
Somewhere that you can't scroll right to find out the name of.
Yeah, indeed. Adrianopolis, maybe? Because while I would quite like to get Yizgar Hashimid, I can't actually appoint her as a commander unless I can become... maybe I should just invite her now, because at some point I might be able to become Cath... Oh no, I'm going to become Fraticelli rather than Cathar, aren't I?
Cathar has advantages in the long run, but Fraticelli is of course nice and easy because your husband
Yes.
is right there.
Looking really quite terrified of something. He is ill. There is a slight danger he might not live long enough to marry Oneka.
Oh. Other husband models exist.
So the former Duke of Damascus has now passed it on to the new Duke of Damascus, who is visually pretty much indistinguishable. Duke Eberhard of Damascus died at the age of 68 and passed the duchy on to Duke Hartmann of Damascus, who was actually his son, but, well, I suppose you can tell there is a lot of family resemblance there. Oh, excellent. Brunhilde has gained some extra territory by the emperor transferring a vassal to him, her. Thietmar von Schwanden, who owns that county there. And I think, did someone manage to get a townie's born on the House of Wisdom? That's nice. Right, we have a new convenient commander. Should I insist that my Orthodox commander become Catholic? Let's not for now. Right, we are continuing to make Erbil's Duke like us, which is going to take a little while. Yeah, still got 7 points of grump from all of my vassals. time a bit faster because there is not a lot going on. I wonder why Gonçalo Núñez de Spoleto let that peasant get away. I'll go and ask him.
Why was he chasing the peasant in the first place?
Oh dear. Do I have to abide by laws and rules? My whim sounds more interesting. I have gained the arbitrary trait. Grump, and I carefully made myself just earlier. The peasants have revolted in Antioch.
Oh, that's because what let the peasant get away?
Yes.
I mean, at least if it's in Antioch, convenient access to weapons of mass destruction.
Something like that, yes. Looks like the local duke may get there first. Yes. No, the local duke may just get defeated first. See, I'm going to do this cautiously and thus stand some chance of winning when I storm Antioch. Oh no, it looks like you are going to win. Okay. I should keep an eye out for anyone having revolts around here, though, just in case. I mean, like otherwise, I will eventually start stomping on all my neighbours anyway.
Still the Egyptians' war going on down there, and now actually starting to go well.
Yes, apparently it is. Because Manrique has managed to get besieged Faramar back.
Just going to war school, that was apparently the name of the lunar anthem.
Yes. Don't quite know why that button isn't active. Oh, because it needs to be approved by my regent, and I have a new regent, which we'll investigate in a moment. So yes, it looks like the Outremer army, Latin army rather, having finally managed to drag itself across all the desert to get here, has taken Faramar back and occupied quite a bit of this tiny little county here, and won a decent battle where Egypt had managed to win a 4.57 war score battle, therefore not quite enough to get the 5% necessary to actually count as having won a major battle. So yes, I think the Outremer may be getting its act together now, finally. So does that mean that my previous regent has presumably died, and therefore someone else has become my regent?
Not for long,
Hmm?
not for long.
No.
Close to not really real.
But that probably now means I can actually appoint my useful spy master, who is admittedly also a leader of a Scottish revolt. His wife is Bergflad of the Scottish Revolt, leader of the Scottish Revolt, heir to the county of Caithness. But he's my spy master, damn it.
It occurs to me that when we can end up getting claim on the kingdom isn't so much for you for the next generation or two down, is by marrying bits of your family to king's family. I realise that would be quite closely related, but would
Set my new spy master to scheming against my most awkward vassal for now. So yes, I do at least have a slightly more useful regent now. But that is bad for my state diplomacy because my regent is also my chancellor. Still, yes, only about 6 months to go before
Yes, it's all a bit awkward. You just
Oneka
don't seem-
comes of age.
You don't seem to have enough people around for your regent not to also be doing another job at the same time.
Yes, well, I mean, I think they get automatically appointed, and probably the council is a good source of reasonably safe automatic appointments. I don't get to choose my regent.
No. Um, as an adult, if you're a woman and you're about to give birth to a child, then you do.
Yes.
And the only other way you get to choose a regent is if you could as the player character previously, but because of the way Ben inherited, he got no choice at all. And even if you do choose as a child, there is the very real possibility that your spy master in particular will mysteriously end up being your regent somehow. Gosh, how that happened, Gov.
Pick any card. Oh, that was the one I wanted you to take. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's happened to me a few times, even in situations where I did pick the regent as the previous ruler, and my kid inherited. That meant that I lost control of the regency because my spy master fiddled it. Or, of course, if the regent snuffs it,
Which is what just happened to me.
which has just happened to you, again,
Right, not going to take on the Byzantine revolt.
you don't get the choice.
Not going to take on the rump of the Byzantine Empire either. I mean, actually, I'm close to being able to take on the rump of the Byzantine Empire.
Yes, but you also have to then avoid the rest of it.
One of my commanders has a claim on the empire.
The rump of the empire being the part that's occupying the throne.
Yes.
Good night. Ooh, also.
I see that neither bit of Byzantine Empire has its capital in Constantinople.
No.
Where is the capital of the actual Byzantine Empire?
Sicily.
Oh, right, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yes, we have one claim on the Duchy of Carzianon, which would slightly make sense, but only slightly. I think if I'm going to go to war, the Byzantine Empire is not the best target. Right, believe that Duke Theodoros can be discouraged from associating with conspiratorial factions. Well, I think someone with a martial skill of 3 can probably be threatened quite easily. We've also persuaded him that we're generally lovely. Right. So that should wind up that faction. There it goes. You can't actually stop our spy master scheming yet because he's going to be busy doing that till January, even though he has already dealt with the problem we sent him to deal with. well, we should probably hold a feast just before we come of age. Okay, I don't know that I have a use for a mastermind theologian, especially a female one with such terrible learning.
I'm going to make you a court chaplain.
So I should just check who I'm being taught by. Still being taught by Gonçal. Gonçal is still a brilliant strategist, so I should get brilliant strategist from that. Do I prefer brilliant strategist, or should I quickly find myself a grey eminence? Because I've got
I mean, the thing here is,
Martial +2 from
since you want to try and
artifacts.
get to a point where you can try taking over an empire, since it's a takeover, either you want backstabbing or you want martial, and of the two, I've never been able to get backstabbing to work.
Right. Let's stick with being educated by the former emperor.
Once you've sorted out the actually having an empire again, then you probably want to switch to primary diplomacy.
Yeah, I'll still have decent. Have decent diplomacy. Like,
And
I'm a genius.
Isn't your betrothed like?
He's actually terrifyingly martial.
Well, that's fine though. But that's just, you could keep up in your state marshal and be one of your commanders. I mean, that's fine. That's okay. Just make sure you've got a terrifying. I mean, his diplomacy's not like terrible. It's terrible.
Let's hold a feast.
So yeah, I think all of that's not a bad place to be in.
Hire everyone. Spend adequately. Have a feast. I have slowed time down again as we approach Anrika's coming of age. Mayor Heramel cut the throat of one of my servants. It really is an occupational hazard. Right, I'm having just back again, thank you.
This is the second time he's done it. Maybe don't liberate him at the end of the feast. Maybe set fire to his head or something.
Yes, but he's my commander.
Well, still, he can't be around murdering people.
I think it was actually someone different who did it last time. Right. Queen Aneka of Al Jazeera has come of age. The regency has ended. She can marry Athelwold, which is like quite bad for her prestige, but it'll be fine. He still looks like a pretty decent catch. She should reappoint that commander. And now we need a designated regent who ideally should not be a member of our council. Actually, often our husband is a good designated regent, so we might wait for him to arrive and then do that. Should pick an ambition. Let's wait. Let's get the husband in place first. What? I became an amateurish plotter. What's that doing there? There. Oh well. Good job. I'm a genius. Let us collect a royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies. So what ambitions do we have available? Become a paragon of virtue by getting 2,000 piety. Or have a son or a daughter, which will essentially just increase the chances of that happening, or rather increase the chances of having a child, and get a piety bonus if it turns out to be of the right gender. This is fiddlesome. So this one is harder to choose later because you need there's some maximum amount of piety you can have before you choose it. I mean, to be fair, having Gonçal inherit the empire would certainly not be a bad thing. Like the empire, the kingdom, wouldn't be that bad. I'm just thinking, like, does it matter if I don't have any children immediately? On the other hand, paragon of virtue, and we're gaining monthly piety at a pretty decent rate now. Yeah, let's go for paragon of virtue and see what happens. So, bit longer before our vassal levies stop being annoyed. We apparently have several people we can right, no, I was looking at the wrong thing. I think I was looking at that one, yes. So we can imprison the Duke of Jazeera because he is currently plotting to fabricate a claim on the Kingdom of Al Jazeera. As is, well, the Duke of Tripoli is fabricating a claim on the Kingdom of Tripoli. I don't think either of those really merits imprisonment. So let's appoint my husband as my designated regent. The Fraticelli faith of Athelwold intrigues and fascinates me. I could not embrace it openly, but I am tempted to convert in secrecy. So I could secretly become Fraticelli as part of the the anagram-based target of reforming Europe. I have no idea how this would go. It seems like an interesting thing to try. Obviously, I could ask him to convert to Catholicism, and slightly surprisingly, he might be willing to do so. No, I think I shall secretly become Fraticelli. So it costs me 250 piety, which isn't exactly the best if I'm trying to become a paragon of virtue. Right, and then I can found the Fraticelli faithful. Obviously, found the button that says "found a religious cult" is a good idea. In order to make sure that the oppression of Fraticelli followers comes to an end, I've decided to take action. I will focus my effort on organising my fellow believers so that we, in time, when we are too many to be ignored, can express our faith without fear of repercussion. When the time is right, we will proclaim our faith. Right. I have founded a cult. I am the herald of the Fraticelli faithful. The leader of a society is responsible for its integrity and also often manages members of lower ranks. The leader regulates promotions between ranks, handles membership applications and hands out tasks to lower ranking members. In certain cases there can exist more than one leader, in which case the most senior is shown above. Ever since its humble roots, Christians have marked themselves by their refusal to abandon their faith in the face of persecution. So it is that a rich tradition of martyrs and underground parishes can give hope to groups of believers in even the darkest of times, no matter what they are outwardly forced to profess. To each other, they can profess their true faith in God, and their God is love. So, I have 1,000 devotion. This is the currency which you can spend on the various powers unlocked by being a member of the Fraticelli faithful. You gain devotion by completing missions as well as on a monthly basis. The monthly gain depends on your stats and the traits associated with the Fraticelli faithful. Which I gain 19 from my diplomacy, from being charitable, from being humbled, and from being the herald of the Fraticelli faithful. So I think these are things I can do at each level. So as the herald, I mean, that seems to suggest as the herald I get +3 diplomacy, which is curious. So the only society we know of the existence of is ours. I am currently the only member. I can induct children. I can evoke sympathy for Christians from non-Christians. I can induct adults. I can prepare the ground by to convert a county into a more Fraticelli one, and ultimately I can openly adopt Fraticelliism, which will convert all of those prepared counties and all of the members, and indeed anyone who is secretly Fraticelli, into an openly Fraticelli person. I can't induct Athelwald into the Fraticelli faithful, presumably on the grounds that he is already openly Fraticelli. We would have to first openly convert him to Catholicism and then secretly convert him back again. which seems kind of silly. So I'm just like poking around what this gives me. So I can spend some of my devotion on trying to bring people into the faith. Like, feels like someone with, like my court chaplain with with his high learning might be decent, though he is zealous, which is probably going to make him difficult to convert. Okay, so where's prepare the ground then? Right-clicking its county shield in the county view. Right, that's expensive in devotion. I think I can actually do that on that county wherever it is. Yes. That's not helpful. Wondering if that would tell me a bit about primary titles. Let's look at my court. So my spy master has pretty high learning and has the advantage over my court chaplain of not being not being zealous. So I'm tempted to see what happens if we try to recruit him. Just turn off openly adopt faith as a plausibly immediate thing. I've arranged for one of my spies to leave a tome of the Bible. You're going to have to be a bit more specific than that to convert a Catholic to Fraticelliism. With an anonymous note in the chambers of Onchu. If the tome is left open on a passage which Onchu finds relevant, I'm hopeful he will find truth in the holy words, but which might catch his eye. Well, so he has very high learning and very high backstabbing and fairly high learning, and he is deceitful and also a scholar. I think we want ethics and philosophy. Like a legendary warrior, obviously not. Community, probably not. Fair and mighty ruler, no. I think ethics and philosophy. See if that works. Right. Emperor Manrique has defeated King Nicolaus of Egypt's attempt at taking that county off him. My spies have brought me some astounding news. Apparently Onchu reads the Bible every night and now seems to worship God like we do. I have to be quite careful about my emphasis here so that it's clear that it's the style of worship that is important. My plan succeeded. It is time for him to join us. I've decided to institute the medium crown authority law in the Empire of Outremer. I don't think that's particularly helpful to me. I covered my face before Mass, and once at the church I sat down next to Onchu. At the end of the service I grabbed his hand and drew the holy symbol of God, presumably a special Fraticelli version, with my finger in his palm. Afterwards he followed me into a deserted alley where I revealed my identity and invited him to join us. Onchu said yes. Another champion of God joins our ranks. Right, so now we have 2 members of the Fraticelli faithful. So Onchu is expected to be the next leader of the Fraticelli faithful. We can't see how much devotion he's got. Is he still annoyed because he's because he's a heretic and he doesn't realise that I'm the same kind of heretic? But I don't think I have the option to point this out to him. Right. So yes. So there I have the option of personally adopting my true faith, which will cause my husband to like me more, but probably get me heavily squished by my liege and indeed by my vassals. So I wonder if liking me a lot is likely to be a good way to get someone to convert. And if he's got decent martial skills, it might be a useful person to have on my kind of side. Currently in the county of Palmyra is my... Yeah, let's send you Palmyra to improve his opinion of me. You need to be somewhere different. None of those factions is something I'm currently worried about. So I think I should send my spy master to Jerusalem, mostly to study technology. So that still shows my official religion. We do have some moral authority in Fraticelliism already. That my vassal levy penalty is basically down to 0. So kind of going, at what point do I start preparing the ground and such like? Presumably I need, that's 300 per county. So my directly held counties are Mosul and Sinjar, those two there. Which is not very much. So presumably the idea is that I secretly recruit my vassals into the Fraticelli faithful, and then they prepare the ground in their own territories. So can I do that actually? If we look at so yes, I can attempt that. He's fairly powerful and he quite likes me. Let's try that. So he has high martial, so let's assume we want to tell him about a legendary warrior. I'm not sure the Fraticelli go in for legendary warriors, but hey. Bah. That's annoying. Right, so my vassals have mostly stopped being fed up now, at least about my having had their troops raised for too long. Which means that I have a pretty decent number of them available. My domain levies are still a bit squished, but So I have claim on the Kingdom of Yemen in my own right. De jure ducal claims on a bunch of nearby counties. And probably some further, and I'm pretty sure I have a de jure claim on Samara. Can I only do that one county at a time? I can only do that one county at a time. So like, I have a de jure claim on Jerusalem, but much that fun though it would be to get my capital back to Jerusalem, I feel that going to war with the Empire with my liege deliberately is probably not yet a wise move. So I don't appear to have a plot to take. My only I have a fabricated claim on the Empire plot. Which curiously no one wants to support. And like a bunch of counties I could revoke, but that doesn't seem very sensible. And none of them seems very unpopular either. Oh, so we can take, yeah, we can take that one. I suppose that's perfectly sensible. Directly. We also have someone who has a claim on that county, but that's not nearly so helpful. Right, he's directly a vassal of Manrique. Does that mean I can declare war on him? So I can directly claim that from the current count, who is feeble, well, fairly feeble. That's fairly convenient. This one I can't directly declare war on. I'd have to go up to declaring war on the King of Arabia, who is not actually that scary either. Do we have any duchy claims against him? Doesn't look like it, no. Pinkbee suggests perhaps it's a regular Bible but with some serious marginal notes. Yes, that is indeed a possibility. I suppose since he doesn't, they don't actually know it's me initially. The whether they can be converted is kind of separate from whether they can be inducted into the from what their opinion is of me. Whether I can induct them into the society is, of course, a different matter. So is her title nominally... Right, it's de jure a vassal of the Sultanate of Iraq, which is weird. Because that's still held by the Najidids. Like, de jure now, the Najidids hold... I think one county of de jure Iraq, but sadly that's one enough that no one can usurp it off them. I probably also don't actually control most of the kingdom of... Actually, let's have a look. I control a fair lump of the kingdom of de jure kingdom of Iraq. For now, at least. Don't have a casus belli for Princess Iraka. So if I took Yemen, that would get me a bit more of de jure Iraq. I only have a weak claim on Yemen, so I want to press that one fairly soon. I mean, it seems perfectly sensible to me that as a quick war, I should just go to war with Count Cyrus of Doralion. Okay, he does actually have 3 counties, doesn't he? They're just, like, weirdly scattered. And take this county off him because, really, he doesn't deserve it. So we can claim it on behalf of the Count of Bostra, or we can claim it de jure. Kind of inclined to do it as a de jure claim, which will mean that he should actually... Oh no, but then if I do that, then I'll end up owning the county, won't I? Because he's already got 2 other counties. And like, it would be nice to get a bit more domain. Can't go to war with him. So yes, if I claim that county, it ends up becoming a vassal of mine. Whereas if I claim this county, I actually get to own it. If I want to. Admittedly, then I'll have this guy claiming that he wants it to be his, and... Do I have a duchy of my very own? Yes. So really, if I'm going to try to get counties, they really want to be in Mosul, if possible. I mean, the simplest one is that one. Simply a de jure claim for him. Yeah, let's go for that. Shouldn't take very long. raise his troops as well. That's probably enough to get the job done. Especially since he's going to have to spend some time organising his armies. Yeah, I've lost a commander. How inconvenient. Well, let's stick my husband in then. Right. Apparently we have a new Duke of Outre-Jourdain who has done something or other. That's nice. What are you going to do? No, you're going to Sukna. So let's send my troops in there, albeit rather indirectly. Let's give you... Oh, you've already got Otto. Excellent. Which ought to be enough. Following here the important thing of destroy the enemy armies while they're still scattered. It's going to take a while to besiege this. What? How have you got 17,000 troops? And what have I got over there that you're besieging? Oh. There's a barony over there that's apparently mine. For reasons. You've hired 13,000 troops. Oh, I didn't notice you had 14,000 money. Well, yeah, that might be a bit dangerous for me. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have declared this war. Possibly I will... It won't take a white piece now. Let's see if I can get enough war score to nab one. Because yes, that was a terrible idea, and I really should have noticed that he had far too much money. Oh well. No, I don't really want to surrender because that's very bad for my money. Georg Welf has been born, son of Otto, my commander, yes. I can't induct him into the Fraticelli faithful yet. I think he's a bit too young. So they're going to win that siege first, which is going to be slightly annoying. My sieges over here will be worth more, owing both to being the territory we're fighting over and a larger fraction of his territory. Okay, there's a war for Galilee. That's fine. We've taken Mafraq. Frankly, if I can get a white piece, I might take it. Let's just see if we can push it all the way to a victory by applying violence. Because his armies might take a little while to get anywhere. I mean, unlikely to accept to offer surrender at this stage, but 42 days, yeah, this may have to be a white piece. Watching his army slowly marching across towards my territory. Excellent. Made Duke Gebre of Palmyra like me more. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Right, we can't easily get more than 50% war score here. He will not accept a... he will not actually hand over the county, and I don't think I can sensibly get any more war score before those 16,000 troops start being a real pain. So I think I rather embarrassedly say, sorry, I didn't realise you were so rich. Slightly bad for my prestige. It's a bit embarrassing, but better than the alternative. Next time, look at how much money your enemies have got. I mean, he's got quite a bit less money now because he just had to hire a bunch of mercenaries to fend me off. But he's still got 13,000 money. Right. Let's not do anything that stupid again. That has slightly squished my personal levies, but that's not a big problem. And indeed some of my vassal levies. I do still have adequate troops as long as I'm not going up against someone stupidly rich. You know, someone with minus 244 money looks like a much better target. Peakby suggests that the mercenaries should suggest that I declare war on him every 10 years and they send me a cut of the money they get from it. Yeah, that might be helpful. So yes, we do have some holdings in El Arish we could claim. Which is presumably that barony, that bishopric. It's a problem with going to war with Arabia is like we can't get very much at a time. I wonder if the Duchy of Arabia has any good claimants. Not really, no. She's not of the right dynasty, so we would have to land her, which is a bit painful. That county just annoys me. She's got quite a bit of money. No, we should go after the person who's got no money, because he might have money later. Let's just take Azarka off him, because that's obviously the correct thing to do. Right, let's see if we can make this war less of a disaster, eh? Just checking that I don't get any troops anywhere weird when I do that. No. Apparently, yes, there was a like Archer Holdings thing where it turns out he has one of those places. But no, we should probably go to Azarka first. And we're going to want more troops than that, obviously. probably actually going to want pretty much all my troops, aren't I? Go on. Or is that too many? Kind of a bit, maybe I shouldn't do that. Let's be a little more cautious. All of mine. Raise all of Brunhilde's because they're easily accessible. And there are lots of them and she likes me, and that's part of why she can provide so many. Aleppo's a bit weedy now. We don't much mind about pissing off a revolt leader. And that's a bit marginal, that number. We'll raise Aleppo again anyway. Right, that'll do. Probably. Excellent. I've got a decent amount of money. I could possibly improve some things in Mosul. Yeah, no I can't. Not until I get some better technology over there. Now, I probably shouldn't be leading troops, you know. I'm not that good. So all these really tough forts that someone has left lying around. I would quite like to gain Jerusalem at some point. Let's keep saving the technology points. But taking Jerusalem is going to involve taking on my liege. Yes, while I can found factions to put many people on the Latin throne, one of them that I can't found is a faction to put me on the throne. Yes, and I similarly, while I can ask for elective succession, I can't demand absolute cognatic succession, which is what I want. I could also join a faction for Gavelkind succession, but that would also be unhelpful. Did we just get a new Count of Azaka? No, I think he just grew a bit older. He's still very short of money. Though he's managing to make up more than he's losing. Right. Turn those into a single army. Polycarpos is a siege leader, isn't he? Yes. Yes. Slightly inconvenient that we have very similar background colours, because we're all Arabian essentially, or in Arabia. Right, so this is a fairly tedious siege. Speed things up a bit. Oh dear. Becoming stressed as a result of being a member of the Fraticelli faithful. Really, you should be relaxed about this. It's fine. I've got a lot of devotion. I should probably use some of it. Let's see if Brunhilde would like to become Fraticelli. So, legendary warrior, community. I mean, she doesn't have great stats in anything. Philosophy's probably closest. She hasn't read it either. Bah. I've still got more devotion than I started with. So people with high learning seem to work relatively well. Have we already tried Theodoros? Well, we can try again. Otto's having lots of kids. Yeah, that's probably a thing I should try to do, is offer to teach the children of vassal rulers, especially elderly vassal rulers, though they'll probably have adult children, won't they? Yes. Aha. Let us attempt to induct Duke Theodoros into the Fraticelli faithful. Hurrah! We now have 3 members, I think. Yes. Alright, Gonçal is unfortunately an idiot. Let's see if we can induct him into the faith anyway. I'm kind of wondering, can I get my siblings in? Though, like, they're an awfully long way down the inheritance of the empire. Nuno is probably the best. Can I... No, curiously, they won't let me have Nuno. Oh, Jimeno. Bah. I should probably look at more children of my immediate vassals. Let's not go for merely presumptive heirs. Right, I'll grab another one. Aha, I am surely with child. Hurrah! Gonçal is secretly Fraticelli. This is going to be my first child and I feel completely lost. What if I do something wrong? What if something bad happens? What should I do while I wait for the day of my labour? Well, I mean, you're currently in the middle of a war. You may not have noticed this. Do I pray to get extra piety? Do I rest for extra health? Or do I relax, which is good for prestige and general opinion. I mean, I don't get many points of piety in total. I think general opinion is worth most there. Let us attempt to induct another child into the Fraticelli faith. Right, a random child in my court has come of age. That's nice. Who are you trying to kill and why? Don't care. Right. Manrique asks, if a tree falls in the woods and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? We can give him a good chance of getting learning, but he might become shy. Or we could give him a good chance of becoming diligent. So he's most interesting in that he's the heir to the Duchy of Galilee. I think we'd prefer him to become shy. Ugh, the child is in a mood for something different today. What should I eat? I can become gluttonous, possibly, for extra health and a decent quantity of prestige. Or something less exciting. Let's have a quail's foot. I should go down and deal with that lot shortly. Manrique is such a caring uncle. That's Emperor Manrique. Always ready to lighten up the mood during a somber family dinner or play with the children. I suppose there are children around in general. Even though we may disagree with him from time to time, I cannot deny his accomplishments as an uncle. Yes, I would have thought you'd need quite a lot of quail's feet to make an adequate meal. Like someone is going to be eating an awful lot of quail. Why are you seeking to kill a count? Is it one I should care about? Don't think we really want a newborn as a count, so I think I'm going to ask you to stop plotting to kill him, please. Right, we've now claimed the entire territory that we want to. Oh, and where is he actually going with this lot? They're going to Al Jalf, so actually I should head to Al Jalf myself. Or rather send my army to Al Jalf. My liege, Emperor Manrique of Outremer, is in deep financial trouble. As my coffers are filled, actually they are quite filled, this seems like a golden opportunity. Well, I'm certainly offering that. If he wants to grant me the Duchy of Jerusalem, Yes, totally. I mean, it appears I sent him the money and then hoped he would grant me the Duchy of Jerusalem. Oh no, hang on, those lines indicate maybe he did. Coup, right. Maybe I should finish this war before I hoik my entire capital across to Jerusalem, but Count Athelwyn of Adzarka was captured in battle. Does he contribute to my war score? I doubt he does. No. Okay, now I'm trying to work out. So mirror what is going on territorially now, eh? I am Duchess of Jerusalem, but de facto that is I paid all of that for a duchy, which has not actually got me any territory, right? Maybe I was ripped off. Because the county of Jerusalem is still held by Manrique. I suppose it was too much to expect that for 200 gold I could get the best county in Outremer. But curiously, he doesn't seem to have gained those 200 money. So, Athelwold has enlisted the help of some of the women from our staff to cheer me up and keep my mind off the pregnancy while I wait for the child to be born. If nothing else, it will have someone to be nice to have someone to talk to when I am not dealing with my duties as queen. Fine, I suppose. Right, someone has been appointed as my regent, namely my husband. Right, so I cover my mouth and try to contain a giggle. Spotting a servant discreetly lighting up a candle, I realise that it's night already. This isn't the first time I spent my entire afternoon gossiping about friends and family with my guests without even realising it, but I cannot deny that this new habit is really helping me get through the pregnancy. So, I can gain gregarious, or I can lose stressed, or I can have a 50% chance of gaining gregarious. Or I can have I can lose stressed and have a 50% chance of gaining trusting. Let's go for that because I don't like stressed. I have become trusting. It is clear that all other people are friendly and want my best. I've gained the trusting trait, which is not the best thing to have. Like gregarious is definitely better, but stressed is bad. A son was born to Queen Oneka of Aljazeera and King Athelwold of Aljazeera, named Ordonio. Yep, I think Ordonio is a nice name. Specifically, Ordonio Athelwaldes. Oh, good, and he's a genius. And he's male, so he's the heir to everything. Well, yes, Syria and Jerusalem and Aljazeera at the moment, at least. So that means we might want to try to switch to primogeniture in Aljazeera when we get a chance. Yeah. Peasants are revolting in Hebron. Well, we'll go and squish them if they're still around once we've dealt with this war. A month has passed since I gave birth to little Ordonio. As is tradition, I should undergo my churching as any good Christian mother does. I mean, I do have the slight issue that I'm Fraticelli, but yeah, go on. I submit myself to the forgiving embrace of our Lord, ready to partake of his sacred flesh after the long abstinence imposed by my pregnancy. Yet I must be certain to be free of sin before I undergo the Holy Communion. So, do I make a donation? Do I humble myself before God? Do I confess my sins? I don't really know what to do here. Or do I declare that I do not need to do anything for I am already pure? Which is great for prestige, but possibly not for, like, anything else. I will make a donation. Oh dear. I've got stressed back again, damn it. Oh, only 40% chance of it. As I took the communion from the priest's hand, a sense of uneasiness filled my heart. Something is weighing on my soul, preventing me finding peace in the Lord's embrace, tormenting my mind with doubts and impure thoughts, and the fact that I'm Fraticelli. Yes, my husband Athelwold must have realised that something went wrong during my churching. He spent the entire evening trying to cheer me up and clear my lingering doubts. He can be so sweet sometimes. Well, we got away with that. And some tech points from Jerusalem. Though, like, I prefer to get Jerusalem from Jerusalem. But the problem is that I have to do that currently by going to war with my liege, who is, like, somewhat scarier than me. Ordonio sleeps safely in my arms. He looks so sweet and innocent. The first few days after the pregnancy was over, I could not be parted from him, but I'm starting to feel the weight of my responsibilities as queen pulling me away from him. So, do I breastfeed him at the expense of my health, which is minus 10% fertility, but is good for getting him one extra point of something and might make me kind, or do I not? Well, I mean, if it only harms my fertility, yeah. I'm now kind. I mean, kind along with trusting is like a bit soft, really. And Ordonio already has 6 points of backstabbing, which I'm sure he will find useful for something. Right, we've now taken Al Jalf. Kind of tempted to just march back towards my own territory now. Because, like, we're at 91% war score and it's ticking from holding Azarka anyway. Seb points out that 6 points of backstabbing at the age of very little. Yes, he's about 3 months old. But yes, though that is, I think, an absolute value, but you can't do much as a child. So, and it's this slightly odd thing that Genius gives you a linear increase of 5 in every score. From birth, which is kind of weird. Hope I'll win this battle. It looks pretty good. It's probably a bit of an extravagance to have a battle, but it's good for exercising your commanders anyway. That gets us to 100% war score, but can we ransom this prisoner? No. Because he has no money, yes. Okay. Right. Let's just tidy some things up. So I have so many cultural technology points that I can get a boost in any one of these areas. Usually I'd go for noble customs. So let's do that. Because it makes, especially since I have low crown authority, so I really want my vassals to like me. So my vassals are slightly annoyed again, at least the ones I borrowed troops from just then. That one I can still press against the Duchess of Samara, and she's fairly soft but quite rich. That one I'm not about to press because he's got 13,000 money. That one I can't now press because I have a truce with King Thingamy of Arabia. Looks like the Kingdom of Yemen is slowly shrinking. Maybe I don't want that title. Basra is still... Oh, we have a new Duke of Basra. Still hasn't been stomped by the Duchess of Baghdad. She has a strong claim on it. So it's slightly surprising that she's not pursuing that. Like, she's got 4,000 troops and 106 money. He's got 2,000 troops and 258 money. So yeah, I think she should. Oh, I have equipped... Apparently I haven't equipped my artifacts when I grew up. Well, that should improve matters a bit. I don't even have to be Catholic for these to work, which is probably for the best. Right, that's 2 more points of martial. That's nice. So yes, I really would like to take the county of Jerusalem off this guy. So he's got 32,000 troops. I shouldn't do this tonight, should I? I've got 14,000, and that's with things moderately squashed. And surely some of his will actually be coming from me anyway. So plausibly, I might actually be able to take him. And like, I do have a de jure claim on the county of Jerusalem. Which would certainly be nice to get. But, oh, he's got minus 12 money as well. Yeah, maybe we should do that soon. He's got less money than us. The nice thing about taking things with their liege, like this count, is that they don't get all the penalties of a new administration, because the immediate administration is the same. So yeah, we should look at whether we could go after our own liege shortly, but not tonight, because I think that is a nice point to end tonight. Queen Oneka has come of age, despite her having turned out as an amateurish plotter, has turned out to be in all other regards pretty all right. One of her wards has vanished. Well, she'll have to get another one, won't she? She is slowly turning the world Fraticelli. She's got quite a lot of devotion, so she should set to recruiting more people. So he's secretly Fraticelli. Wonder if we can find out whether he's inducted anyone else. Possibly we can't. But like gradually taking everyone's kids and turning them Fraticelli seems to be pretty effective. So I should go through more of my vassals and recruit their kids into my religion. But that's all for the next time. For now, I will save and quit and say good night.